Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would just go through what's currently like my go-to look. And so yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and if you do, give it a like and a thumbs up and subscribe before you leave. But I'll just go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna scoot you guys just a little bit closer. Okay, so I brought you in a little bit closer. Sometimes when I'm zoomed far out, I just got a new camera, and so sometimes when I'm zoomed pretty far out, it like has this feature that smooths my skin, and when I bring you a little bit closer, it's a little bit less drastic. So the first thing I'm going to do, I already primed my face with my normal primer, so I'm going to jump in. I'm using today the CYO Long Lasting Foundation, and I did a wear test of this foundation recently, and I really like it. I've been wearing it a lot ever since I first tested it, and so that's what I'm going to jump in with. And today I'm using a Real Techniques blending sponge to put this on. I will say the color of the foundation is a smidge dark for me right now, but I like the coverage and the overall feel of the foundation, so I'll just use concealer to make it work, and I'll make sure it's all blended out. The shade that I have, I don't think it's on here. I need to find out. I think I have to look at the receipt, honestly, because it's not anywhere on the bottle. And that foundation is available at Walgreens. It was $7.50. I do know that. So I'm just blending this out. The coverage is really nice, but it's so lightweight, I think, is the thing that I like about it the most. I did do a wear test of the CYO foundation, the matte foundation, which is also nice, and it's super full coverage if that's what you're into. But for everyday, I think it's a little bit much. So for my everyday makeup, I gravitate towards this one. And this is my everyday look, but like my go-to, I should say. I don't wear makeup every day if I don't have to. I love makeup, but if I'm just gonna be like at home and I know that I'm gonna be at home, I don't put makeup on, because I think it's nice to give your skin a break once in a while. But I realize that this isn't going to be like a go-to look for everybody. Makeup is very individual, and I think that that's one of the greatest things about makeup, that you can really make it your own and personalize it to your likes and dislikes. But this is just what I do right now, and I always have people asking me about my makeup, and so I figured I would just do like what my go-to is right now. So I'm just I always grab it on my fingers. This is the NYX concealer that I use. It's the Cover All concealer, and then I'm just gonna go in with my blending sponge and blend that out. I like that concealer because it's so full coverage, and it just like totally wipes out my dark circles and stuff with just the smallest amount. I'm trying to use up some of the concealers and products that I have before I get into new products, because like I used the Tarte Shape Tape and I used that all up, and that's like everybody's favorite concealer right now. I like it, but it's not great. In my opinion, it's not great for like every day. And then I'm gonna bake underneath my eyes. I don't bake like my entire face every day, but I do have a lot of fine lines under my eyes, and so I always take a little bit of powder. Probably looks like a lot of powder. And I get right in there, and I make sure that that doesn't crease throughout the day, because most times if I'm wearing makeup, I need it to last, you know, several hours and still look good. At my day job, my days are really long typically, and so I also tend to crease around my nose, like right there. So I didn't put any extra on the sponge, but I just used whatever was left over and went around my nose. So the next thing I'm gonna do is set the rest of my face. Underneath my eyes, I did use my Kat Von D powder because that one is lighter colored than the setting powder that I'm using currently. I'm testing out one again by CYO. I like this brand. I feel like they have a lot of really good products, but I also feel like nobody's really talking about it, and I'm not sure why that they're not. It's probably just because within the beauty community, like, there are so many products right now. I think it's just sort of a oversaturation of new products to try, and people can't possibly test them all. So I was trying to go off the beaten path a little bit and try this out in the first place, and I'm glad I did because it's really nice. So this setting powder is tinted, and I don't typically go for a tinted setting powder, but this one is really, like, it's very finely milled. I'm just setting my eyelid quick in preparation for my eyeshadow. And then I brush away the bake when I do that. But this is tinted, and I don't typically go for a tinted setting powder because I am pretty fair skinned. The next thing I'm gonna do is bronze, and I'm gonna use, this is the, again, I'm trying to use these things up. I know that I talk about these products a lot, but I also love this product. It's the Sweethearts bronzer, the baked bronzer from Too Faced. So I'm just gonna warm up the sides of my face. Nothing too precise by any means, but just adding some life back in after I applied powder everywhere. If there's a product that you guys want me to try, I know I say this a lot, but if there's a product that you guys want me to try, I'm happy to try it on the channel so that you don't have to go out and spend your money. And maybe it's something that somebody else would be interested in too. So I'm happy to do that if you just let me know what it is. Next, I'm gonna do some blush. I've been testing out this blush as well. This is the powder blush by CYO. It's called Just Sayin', and it looks super crazy in the pan, but it's really just like a classic pink shade, and it's really nice to just give you a good flush on the cheeks. And it wears really nicely, so I've been trying that out. I am attempting to try like a significant amount of drugstore products because I realize that, you know, not everybody wants to spend, you know, $26 on a blush. So I try to be cognizant of that when I'm testing new products and putting them on my channel so that they're appealing to the masses and that everybody can use them. So right now I'm going to do my brows really quick. I have a whole video on my brow routine, so I'm gonna pop off line right now, do my brows, and then I'll be back after that. Okay, so I am back. There's a couple of products that I've been trying out, a couple of eyeshadows that I've been trying out, so that's what we're gonna jump into is my eyeshadow look. This first shadow is a single shadow from CYO, and this is Deep Thought. And I'm just gonna grab this brush, I just used it yesterday, but this brush is from Wet n Wild, and these brushes are 99 cents at Walgreens. So if you're looking for really nice affordable brushes, this is a good way to go. And I'm just gonna start to work this into like the outer edge of my eye and my crease. And remember, I set my eyelids with setting powder when I was setting the rest of my face. And I'm just using like small circular, sometimes like windshield wiper motions. I'm just working that in. This is pretty pigmented, so I always say go in with a light hand first. You can always add more, but if you add too much right out of the gate, it's always harder to ratchet that back and go backwards once you've already added too much. But I'm just working that like into the outer edge and the outer V of my eye right here, and then into the crease as well. So I like this shade. It's just a matte brown shade, and it works really good for a crease color. Okay, and then what I do typically, once I get that done, is I will do one of two things. Sometimes I just grab the highlighter that I'm using for my face, because I think that's just the easiest. Otherwise, I have like these City Mini palettes, which I've talked about before. Right now they're buy one get one half off at Walgreens, and so they end up to be $7.50 a piece. So I just grab like this shimmery shade right here, like this gold shade, and I'll just use my finger and I'll pick some up just like that, and then I just start putting that on my lid, and I just use my finger. Because I think a lot of times with the shimmery and foiled shades, I think it just works better to use your finger. Otherwise, you can always use like a flat shader brush and wet your brush a little bit and pack that on. But if I'm doing something quickly, and this is just like a go-to everyday thing, I don't want to have to go through the trouble of wetting my brush, because I don't have my makeup stuff in the bathroom. Maybe you do, and so it wouldn't be a big deal. But I don't want to go through the hassle of having to like do that extra step, you know? So as you can see, and maybe I'll scoot you a little bit closer, I just did that like foiled shadow right on the lid, okay? And this particular palette that I'm using from the City Minis, I'll tell you what it is. This is the Rooftop Bronzes palette, and it's just that shimmery shade in there. But a lot of those City Mini palettes do have like a shimmery bronze shade like that. Sometimes when you do that step, you sometimes will like lose a little bit of the definition in your crease. So without adding more product onto the brush, sometimes I'll just come in and just go over my crease one more time with this brush that I used for my crease. So that's pretty much it. And then I'm gonna highlight my brow bone, but I'll do that in just a second when I highlight my face. And then for liner, I don't do winged liner every day, but it is pretty easy for me to do. So oftentimes I have this eyeliner pen. I talk about this a lot. It's the Essence waterproof eyeliner pen from Ulta. And just because of it, the fact that it's so easy to use, oftentimes I do a wing, just because it's so easy. And as you guys know, I only line like half of my eye because I have like hooded eyes kind of, and so I don't have a ton of lid space. So I end up just lining about halfway across, just like that. And then I'll do a quick wing. Also, depending on what I'm doing, I'll like kind of ratchet my wing in a little bit so that it's not like super dramatic for just like a Monday. I don't think anybody's expecting me. Yeah, that's ratcheted back. Can you believe it? I don't think anybody ever expects me, if you know me well, to do a natural eye look on any given day. So it's just what I do. And then I use my powder brush. I don't put any powder on it, but I just use it quick under my eyes in case I had any fallout from shadow. I just brush quick under my eyes. And then I have this new highlighter that my husband actually got me, and it's the Spotlight palette in Pearl. This was a collaboration between Smashbox and Casey Holmes, which is, she's like my absolute favorite YouTuber ever. So most times I just mix all three together. And I always do highlighter, I never leave this stuff out, because I think it just looks nice and it sort of pulls your look together. Again, it's like personal preference, you know? If you're not into it, don't do it. But this is just what I do. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab a small brush and I'm just gonna highlight my brow bone. And I'm gonna use the lightest shade in the palette right here. And I do the inner corner as well. All right, and then typically I'll just make sure I take a good look and see. I don't want to lose any intensity in my brow. And sometimes I get a little highlighter in my brow, so I make sure that those still look good. And then I'll use my crease brush one more time. This is cute. To go back over my crease and make sure nothing got lost with the highlighter. All right, and then mascara. I have been addicted to this mascara. This is the Essence Lash Princess. This one kind of dethroned the L'Oreal Lash Paradise for me, to be perfectly honest with you, just because it just looks so good. And there's a green one that I liked a little bit better, but they were out, so I got this one to try it, and I really like this one as well. Alright, and then because it's fall, I've been really into like a darker lip, like a berry colored lip. So I have a matte lip that I'm gonna pop on. It's by Wet n Wild, and this is one of their Catsuit matte lipsticks, and this is in Berry Recognize. And I just think it's so pretty for fall. And these dry totally matte. And they stay put really well, as long as you're not like, you know, eating a burger. But most lip products won't withstand a burger or something very well. But it's just a really pretty berry color for fall. I think it's so nice. And for the price, for these Wet n Wild, I mean, you really can't go wrong, right? So I think that's really pretty, right? So that is sort of my go-to look. I know I don't have my hair done. It's gonna be a busy week, and so I'm still trying to film and get stuff done around the house and stuff like that. So that is my go-to look. I'll list all the products and the prices and where you can buy them below. If you like this, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching.